But that's very serious. Do you see the danger of that? Do you see that this murkiness can lead to crisis in that proportion?
If it's not controlled, I think yes. I used the word banana republic. I didn't use it lightly.
I was coming to that because that's a very serious expression.
Banana republics are run on cronyism. People of great power wield great power. People of lesser power or people who've fallen out of power go to jail without adequate evidence, or their bodies are found in the trunks of cars. The danger is that you could degenerate into that kind of atmosphere unless the necessary parts of government play their role in upholding the law, and fine, let no one be above the law.
Do you see a lot of crony capitalism, since you use that expression?
Yes, I see the evidence of it. I'm not in a position to say a lot of it, but it's certainly evident.
Will you say some of it?
Yes.
Will you describe some of the evidence that you've seen?
You see large contracts being awarded. We see conditions of contracts becoming a little vague, implemented funnily. You see eligibility of capability being abused. Very often I've wondered, there are some countries, for example, where favoritism doesn't apply, but you actually pay into the government if you get a contract. But the nice thing about those countries is that you get the best contractor, or you get the best. I mean, it becomes like a tax.
Right.
It's an open,
like a surcharge.
And it's an open tax. So you pay in, not to individuals, but you pay into an agency. I'm not condoning that, but I'm saying that's one form.
At least that's that's corruption by tariff card.
Yeah. Here,
transparent.
Who pays the cost of giving something to a person with less capability? The customer pays, the consumer pays.
Right.
We get something that takes 5 years more to finish than it should. It costs 5 times more to complete than it should. So this is not the time that we should do this. This is the time that we should build our nation. And we should build it as many other emerging nations have built their nation on basis of meritocracy.
How do you manage? How does the group of Tatas manage in this environment?
Well, we have endeavored to uphold a value system that has been part of our tradition, and we've been disadvantaged repeatedly in that we have lost projects, projects have been delayed, we have ingratiated ourselves in some cases with certain politicians, but we have stayed that course. And
you have ingratiated, or you have annoyed them?
Annoyed them, sorry.
Editing correction, sorry.
Sorry, I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did. And so, in that sense, we would like to keep the group ferociously protecting this one asset.
Do you sometimes pay if you have to pay?
We've never done so.
Never done
so.
Either on the tariff card or, as you say, in countries where the charge is almost like a surcharge.
No, we have not actually operated in those countries.
Right.
I have myself introspected what happens here, which is a little fuzzy.
Right.
I can't say that it's
right.
something else, but what happens here that leads you to believe that there's an undercurrent that's subjective against what you see in some countries, which it's out in the open. And while I don't as I said earlier, condone that. At least I see that the country gets the best that there is for that particular project.
That's less worse than this.
Yes.
Because I understand some of our chief ministers have started doing that now. They have open bidding, but whoever wins knows that a certain part of it has to be contributed someplace.
Well, that's off the table.
Right.
Whereas what I was talking of was, it's in the invoice.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it's out in the open.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So it's that transparent.
Yeah.
But Ratan, to come back to Banana Republic, would you say this to the Prime Minister, who, as you said, you respect?
Sorry?
Would you say this to the Prime Minister that our country is in the danger of becoming a banana republic or beginning to look like a banana republic?
I think if what has happened in the last few weeks is an indication of what can happen at any time, then we are really going down the route that would lead us into a banana republic. I would have no hesitation of telling the Prime Minister that, because I don't believe the Prime Minister is contributing to this. I think he should be concerned about the nation going in that direction.
And he's a good man.
And he's a tremendously good man. We're very lucky to have a Prime Minister like him. I want to say that I think it has hurt me to see what he's gone through in the past weeks, because
in Parliament.
Pardon?
In Parliament?
In Parliament, the pressure and the innuendos and the pressures he has been going through to resign and so on. Here's one person who is truly above any of the allegations thrown at him. A person who we are very lucky to have, because it is his face that has been the face of a transforming India. And it is this person who has commanded the respect of leaders in major countries. He doesn't deserve to have this kind of
and the Gandhi family has invested a lot of capital in building his image and sustaining it.
Yes. And I was very pleased to see Mrs. Sonia Gandhi supporting him the other day publicly, because he doesn't deserve this kind of thing.
The kind of criticism attacks that he's been getting.
Pressure in Parliament from... here again, I think there's a responsibility of parliamentarians to govern the country, not to adjourn Parliament every day. Right. To meet some...
Well, I mean, it's dangerous because there's 3.5 years still to go for this government. You adjourn Parliament now, when do you... I think people take extreme postures and then it becomes tough for them to pull back. I mean, both sides in this case. But I think everybody knows you in the world of business and finance and investments. Do you find some of the investors and businessmen, particularly foreigners, have begun to get worried or begun to get wary of India right now?
I think this has just happened, so truthfully, I have no knowledge, but I have certainly a feeling that will be on everybody's lips. I would imagine the next time I go overseas, which would be in a couple of days, people are going to ask me, what is all this about? And there is this scam, there is that scam. People who now on the internet are well informed about India will think of India as a scandal-riddled country, which it is not. And you can easily make it that way. You can make everybody's mindset operate from one scandal to the other. You can make that, unfortunately, the fodder that the media needs to sell publications or to attract viewing on television.
Like, as we say in Hindi, a hum sab chor hai nation.
That's right. Things, yes. That's right. And my experience has been, not in the media but elsewhere, that usually the most noise comes from the people who have the most things to hide.
Right. Because noise is also a smoke screen.
That's right. So we should not fall into the trap of becoming a nation that's destroying itself by making everything into a scam. We should
And this kind of, are you saying that this is a kind of self-flagellation?
Well, it leads to, as we both said, smoke screens.
Right.
We should, in fact, be...
So the thieves get away.
That's right.
Behind it.
That's right.
And everyone else looks like a thief.
That's right.